Good morning. Welcome to my garden, Lilac Hill. I am out here on the west side of the garden to share the absolutely beautiful Philadelphus, the mock orange Philadelphus coronarius, and it is a nice big shrub now. It goes all the way up to the living room window, so when I open the window I can see the blooms, and of course mock orange, very fragrant, and it really has a lovely citrus smell, just like a fresh cut orange. Looks very nice in here. There's always a foxglove. They seem to grow it wherever they want. And there's Tom Thumb yarrow. I think that's really pretty. Picks up on the white. Julia afterglow as well. This dark burgundy foliage is really smart in here. There's going to be a little white campanula coming. There's white liatris. And the astrantia too are looking very beautiful. One of them is I've got a little tag right here. Let's just have a look. That one is the Star of Fire astrantia or masterwort, and this one is the Star of Billion. It's beautiful creamy blooms, and that one's got the lovely darker pink, but it does have a light center, which is really nice. There's also white aster, which is wonderful for the fall for color. This is like a bit of a moon garden. It glows really nicely when it's really dark, because this is the darkest corner of the property because we're away from the street lights. This is an interesting surprise. This little astrantia grew by itself, but to me it looks like a cross between the two. The darker one, the lighter one, made a medium colored one. So that's kind of a surprise. I like that. We'll just keep that there. But it really is beautiful, big, blooming shrub with the most incredible scent. Also in here, not to be left out, is my lovely choicea. It's the Choicea ternata, also called a Mexican orange. So not to be confused with the mock orange. This is a Mexican orange, a wonderful shrub. It gets a bit of frost damage. That's frost damage, but then it recovers beautifully with all this lovely chartreuse colored growth. So a really nice bed. And before I pull them out, because they're getting a little bit too rowdy, I'm going to share my foxgloves, because they are going to be pulled. They're looking a little bit out of control. Not so much the ones against the rhododendron, but the one that's blooming with the upright St. John's wort. And so once the bees are done with them and they've set seed, I will give them a pull. That's so funny. They're so tall. These foxgloves. And they are so good for the bees. So I could also not necessarily pull the plant. I will cut the stalk when it sets seed, and I'll move the entire seed loaded stalk down to the wildlife area. Caradonna salvia's in here. One of my oldest plants, many years old, probably over 20. And I believe that's a burgundy 9 bark back there. There's also some daylilies coming, and there is the dwarf barberry, self-seeded campanula, more daylily. This is the little box hedge that I moved from the front, that I will prune this into a long rectangle. The other box were bought specifically because they are box balls. And I'm going to have 3 nice big box balls to contrast with the horseshoe hedge. Some more barberry. This is the burgundy glow. And then I have a royal purple smoke bush, which picks up beautifully with the heuchera called Melting Fire. So a very nice bed, lots of shades that seem to go together. Except I'm not really liking those really tall foxgloves. I think they take away from my St. John's wort, so they will be moved. Oh, and of course, there is the beautiful spurge, the euphorbia, and then the red valerian. And then around on this side, I have one of my daisies that I moved, and a little white heather shrub that I got from the dump. So overall, the 2 beds with the big rhododendron look really nice. People really like this part of the garden on the tour. And I like it because as we move closer to my buildings, it gets more high maintenance. There's the the door for the blue shed off in the distance. It's nice to have areas of the garden where it's not as high maintenance. I've got a lot of cleaning to do today. I'm going to be taking down all of the lilac blossom, brown blossom, putting it through the shredder. Makes great mulch. High River hydrangea, anemone, Virginia, another, this one is a pink diamond hydrangea. I'd have to look at my tags. But what a pretty plant. And it picks up beautifully on that cluster bellflower. It's a gorgeous one. That one came from my aunt. It's a beautiful campanula. Likes it in here. This ground is the old chicken run. So under the bark mulch is years of manure. Check out the cherry tree from the neighbor. It's going to be full of cherries, ripe cherries soon. I might put the hose on it for her so the fruit gets full of water. And it's a massive cherry tree. Of course, the birds will get most of them, but that's good. Feeds the wildlife. And I wouldn't doubt it if the bear even found the cherry tree and had its feast on it. Turning here now, coming up, this is my rock garden in progress. I'd like to have it more rock and less ground, so I will add rocks and find plants. I think this Dixon's Gold Campanula is a perfect example of what I want to see, where the plant actually mounds over the rocks. That's got a nice little surrounding of rocks. So I just think that's just perfect. And there's another star campanula down there from the doll that was bought for pennies at the plant sale. There's a helianthemum in here, raspberry ripple, another good rock plant. And I have a peach colored poppy. I'll get a little bit closer. And of course the lichness is here. And there's also cornflower. And this is a nice plant too. This is a geranium that came from the plant sale. I'll just zoom in. I think that's really, really good. Okay, let's go up the hill a little bit. Isn't that a great magenta? Oh, and also should share quickly, this is all sensory plants here. There's wild mint, sage, thyme, scented geranium. And it's nice just to come down here and brush against the plants, so we can put them use them for cooking if we want. I like to touch the leaves on the beautiful lamb's ear. It's so soft. And this is my creeping raspberry from the plant sale. Fennel, just for a corner anchor plant. And I like this little combination in here. There is a sedum, yellow sedum, and there is a thrift. And this is my new plant, and I really like the form. It's got the same softness as the lamb's ear, and it is a Marubium rotundifolium, also known as silver heels horehound. And see how it's got rocks around it? So that's what I want to see, is just plants mounding over rocks. Oh, and there's the poppy. It just grew by itself. Little orange peachy poppy. Daisy Madonna will be blooming next couple weeks. It's now the time of the daisies. I might prune this branch. It's resting on my spirea. Oh well, let the butterfly bush do its thing now. It does have blooms on the end. I'll prune it harder next year. It really is meant to block out the neighbor down below with the boat and different projects they've got on the go. But now that we've got the gate kind of blocks that lower area. There's the gate in the distance, so the angle of the gate, it acts like a nice barrier. But you can see where I need to get to work, get all of this dead lilac branches off now. So where I'll prune to, I will look at it and I'll look for a nice healthy bud. I would probably prune it to about here. And then that will shoot, or even to this one, because this one's got two. Yeah, so that's the project today. There's lots of this onion growing. I'm happy with all my marigolds, but next year I'm going to do the lantana, because the marigolds don't seem to have any many insects on them, but lantana I know is really popular with the bees. So that's looking okay. Oh, and here's another campanula. This is called Sarastro. This is another one of my plants that's old, like the Caradonna. Out front, this is Sarastro. This is a bell campanula. I think campanula is got to be one of my most favorite flowers in the garden, just for the sheer variety of the flower types. There's also another one I've got over in the main bed, and it's called Pearl Deep Blue. So I'll see if that one, don't think it's quite open yet. Sunflowers in a pot. Got a little bit eaten by the slugs in their early days, but are well on their way to going to the top of the support. And I shared last time the beautiful ceanothus full of bees. Sounds so lovely. I love that sound. Passing by here, I've got two more petunias, or these are the pansies. I've got petunias. The pansy baskets are still looking good. Just some interesting shaped baskets from the value villages and the secondhand stores that are in our area. And I really love these baskets. This one here is really heavy. It's a steel basket. So I'll be able to use that next year. And this one is a funky looking wicker, but it's got kind of a twisted handle. So, and then this is the Bee Balm Fireball. I got my little Canada Day display ready to go out front. Not too much going on in the glass house because the plants are all out now. Well, I do have 3 squash I have to plant that I grew from seed. Peonies are gorgeous. They opened last week. Weather hasn't been too bad. They are gorgeous. Monsieur Jules Lee. Kansas is finishing, but lovely. Bowl of Beauty. Out front, there's lots of little things to look at. There's lavender, a geranium, and then in my sedum, this one, Mr. Goodbud. And then this one is the Sarah Bernhardt. The white one came from my mom. The red one, darker burgundy one, is from the front. And it was growing. A little piece of peony was out front and recognized the leaf. So I brought it up to the main bed, and I think it is a sensational peony. Its bud is caught in there. Oh boy, things. I'm not very good with my plant supports. My stick and string method seems to start to fail after a while. And the Paula Fay was really good. I'm just leaving the seed head on for a little bit longer. More lavender, more sedum. I love this yarrow called Moonshine, especially with the Joseph's Green Hardy geranium. That one's in a pot. This is another Astrantia, and this one is Star of Beauty. I had these copper tags on the plants for people for the tour 2 weeks ago, just to have a name so people didn't have to come find me if they had a question. Orion geranium, wow, like gorgeous. Picking up gently on the foliage of the yarrow. So there's lots to see in this bed. I moved my bottle brush plant, Japanese bottle brush, to here just to give another form compared to the perennial I got from the Darts Hill. And I love Veronicastrum. It's just coming into flower. More upright St. John's wort. There's phlox. This is a morning widow geranium. I love it. It's got the most tiny but most perfect little purple flower. It's really pretty. Daylilies like crazy. My annuals are hanging in there. The honeysuckle absolutely loves the feed that the annuals get. They get a little bit of liquid or diluted Miracle Grow every time I water. And the honeysuckle is saying, oh, I enjoy Miracle Grow too. So a little bit of diluted feed on annuals just helps keep them going strong. Oh, and the petunias on the wall are looking really good. They need deadheading, but wow, that's a good little basket. That's not a lot of room to grow in that basket, and I'm thrilled with my petunias this year. Oh, a chicken must have laid an egg. That's usually what the neighbor says when they start cackling, is because they've got an egg that they've laid. This is the other Campanula Cerastro. Beautiful. That's the cutting or division of the one over on the nearer the hill. And look at how it picks up on the poppy. Royal Wedding just finishing. But when something is finishing, something else is coming along. So I don't mind. It's all the cycle. I put my Tithonia in here. I grew them from seed. Mexican sunflowers. Great for bees. I've got some down below in the wildlife garden. I will be developing the wildlife garden this fall so that I can get more perennials down there. I'll put some lupin in there, and I'll probably move some of those foxgloves when they set seed. I'll just cut the stalk and put it down in the wildlife garden. I've got some poppies that grew by themselves, but they're very pretty with their perfectly formed black centers. I put my forge in here. Grew from seed, also good for the bees. This Malva, I grew this from a seed. And there's another phlox. Lupins are finishing, so this would be great for the wildlife area. Just all this seed can go down and be part of the lower garden. Another yellow wildflower. So really nice. Like the way the red dragon geranium is coming through. This all needs a good cleaning now, in the sense of just going through and doing a little deadheading. I want to give the hostas a nice drink of rainwater. I think it just is really looking gorgeous. This is a happy surprise. My Haku Ukan clematis bloomed. There was a saying on Gardener's World, if it blooms before June, do not prune. And I've never had a bloom on that plant, so I'm happy with that. But clematises always get those lower brown leaves. Actually, I could go in here and show the Lily de Leon is blooming. I think that's what it's called. It's way up high. I've never been able to get that clematis to bloom on its lower branches. These clematises were not expensive. They were basically 75 cents on sale at the end of the year, about 4 years ago. And look at this bee's knees petunias. Those are proven winners petunias. There's only 3 in that basket. So I might send a nice photo to proven winners and say, great, buy. I thought when I first bought the little tiny cups of petunias, I thought, oh boy, $4 for this little thing, but it's worth it. That geranium up that basket needs a good editing or good pruning and probably some water. It looks dry. Okay, one other thing to share. Just wanted to show that last campanula over here. Oh, and we should also have a nice admirer of the foxglove, the delphinium. Look at this. I've never ever grown a delphinium before. They've always either succumbed to slugs or they've just been really spindly. But we have had a particularly cool spring. So I think that might be what is happened is it's not as hot and it's not drying out as quickly. Oh, I'm falling. I'm just having to go over my rocks. Oh, no. Someone needs some water. To get some water on that, on my Borsii geum. This is the other one. And this one is going to bloom soon, and it's pearl deep blue. It's another campanula. This geum has done very well. That's Mai Tai. Very thrilled with that. This one just needs some water. It'll perk back up. There's salvia, another astrantia. This is hot lips. Veronicastrum. Okay, I think it's time to wind up here. I just want to share from this side, before I cut off all the blooms, how beautiful my rose is. This is my profile picture on Facebook. And it is a beautiful Chicago piece. They are finishing now, but I'm so happy with them. And my idea to put the echinops around the base as a little skirt has worked. And my black magic petunias are doing well there. Veronicastrum erica. So with the bird song, and the Tradescanthia too is looking really good. So Pavarotti, a bit of bird song. Thank you for watching.